that media blitz put on by the Jamaica Labour Party this morning into the afternoon. We have with us veteran journalist, Emmy Award-winning journalist Cliff Hughes, as well as fellow journalist and founder of Rebel Radio, Desmond Richards. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening to you both.
Good evening, Sanjay. Good evening, listeners. Good evening, Desmond Richards. How are you?
Good evening, Cliff. I am supposed to be okay.
So,
supposed to be okay. You're fine, man.
Well, let's crack on, gentlemen. Let's start with you, Cliff Hughes. You're the boss, so to speak. What have you made of today's events? You have seen it all. You've been around the block. What have you made to this very different approach taken by the Jamaica Labour Party today?
I've been thinking about it since you all asked me to be on. And one phrase keeps coming back at me. It was a move outside of the box. We did not expect this, yeah? For a governing party, yeah, this close to the elections, to have the leader of the party, the deputy leaders and bigwigs of the party out on the streets of the corporate area this morning and across the country, I think is a move that is simply outside the box. It was a surprise. It looked good. The enduring images I saw, I'm in Montego Bay, and I have to be depending on you guys to show me the images. That image of the Prime Minister of Jamaica running down Halfway Tree Road, yes, crisscrossing through the traffic, yeah, handing out the booklets to motorists, yeah, moving in between the traffic, that is unprecedented. I can't seem to recall any political leader, previous political leader, dead and gone, to be so engaged at the start of his campaign. Because what it demonstrates is the relatability of Andrew Holness. Yes, he's one of us. Yeah, he has this ability to connect that I'm afraid his opponent doesn't have. Can you see Mark Bowling running between the traffic in the sun this morning?
Why?
Well,
I can't feel it.
Well, Desmond Richards, you have your say now. What do you say? I mean, some people are calling it a master stroke, where they say the JLP is playing chess while other people are playing checkers. What say you?
Like you, I have been around. I have been watching election campaigns, observing them closely since 1972 as a teenager in deep rural St. and Muros. Now, first of all, I am not surprised. I am not surprised at what political leaders do in Jamaica to retain our access power. I'm not surprised at all. Nothing that they do, I'm surprised about. And when it comes on to election campaigns, I am again not surprised by what they say and what they do. Now, listen, this and Nationwide and Cliff have been running around with this, that this is the first government that can campaign on achievements. That's not true. All the governments of the past, they have campaigned on their achievements. They have campaigned on their achievements. And I can recall two things. The 1976 election and the 1980 election. In 1976 was a very competitive election. But at that time, the late Michael Manley was in his zenith. And Siaga was also way up there. But the PNP came to the country with their achievements. There were achievements because remember that Jamaica was, coming out of the colonial era. And that government, 72 to 76, what they did was to put in a lot of social programs, and they loosed up the people. And that helped the people to stay with Michael Manley. In 1980, I can remember the PNP went out and a massive campaign. But what I observed, that the people were not digesting the campaign. No. The people had made up their mind that, listen, we are going to vote you out of power. Now, the achievements that are in this booklet that you are saying that the Prime Minister is running around giving out. Remember, these achievements are something that are measurable. So the question we must ask ourselves, and that will be proven on election day, these achievements, have they filtered down into the lives of the people? That is it. Can the people get medical treatment? The people get water? Can people stop moving moving for as far as 30 miles to go to an hospital? What about, do you know that since 1944, the people in rural Jamaica have been suffering? Do you know that these...
Well, Desmond, you have said a lot. You have said a lot. And let me just go back a little, yeah, and deal with them. What we're talking about this morning, and I think the question posed to me, is about the political tactic, the methodology that was used. That is certainly without precedent. That's unprecedented. Yeah? It is not about what the Prime Minister said, because you're correct. Politicians will say what they think is popular in the moment. The issue this evening, when was it that we had a Prime Minister, a political leader, in rush hour traffic in the capital of St. Andrew, weaving in between moving motor cars, handing out a booklet? Yeah, that is what is extraordinary politically. Secondly, you said that what Nationwide and Cliff have been saying about running on record is not true. No, you mischaracterize what I've said. What I've said, and I'm prepared to say it again, this government, between 2016 and now, has chalked up an array of achievements that I posit outbid all previous administration in terms of the range and complexity and the challenges. A pandemic, once in a generation, COVID, and I say, this government
hold on, just allow Cliff to finish the point.
Did well. Which other government could have come through the way Jamaica came through, yeah, having experienced a pandemic which gutted the Jamaican economy? We were able to come through it without collapsing. Certainly, the Michael Manley government of 72 to 76 could not have survived that. But you're correct. Michael Manley and the PNP ran on a ticket in December 1976 based on its impressive social legislation, maternity leave, equal pay for women, no bastard, no day again, land lease. That was the record Michael Mann and the PNP ran on and defeated Siaga handily. But this record we're talking about is not only about social issues. The most intractable problem of the Jamaican society since 1962 has been crime, rampant murders. No other government, none other, without hesitation, can claim the record of reducing crime that Holness has done. But the economy, record low unemployment. The only other time unemployment was this low in Jamaica, Desmond, listeners, was in 1834, 1838, when slavery ended.
Let me ask.
Desmond, please hold there. Desmond, we're going to take a quick break.
Just let me finish.
Go ahead.
When we had full employment, yes, we're not talking about the dollar run and a dollar wine anymore. You young people would know there was a time when elections are happening, the opposition could beat the government with crime, unemployment, the dollar running. You remember Audley Shaw and the famous, we're having a dollar wine?
And a dollar,
because
yes.
The dollar just a boost up. We don't have those discussions anymore. Do we?
Desmond, hold on. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll allow you to say your piece on the return. This afternoon, we have with us veteran journalists Cliff Hughes, as well as founder of Rebel Radio, Desmond Richards. So, Desmond Richards, Cliff raises a very good point. Which election campaign?
Siobhan,
yes, sir.
Siobhan, Desmond is also a veteran.
Well, I said veteran journalists. I said veteran journalists.
Okay.
but back to my point.
It's okay, man. These are you guys are, juveniles in the profession.
Oh, I don't doubt that. Not compared to you legends. But back to the point, Desmond Richards. Cliff has raised a point regarding what the JLP has accomplished, what it is able to put to the people in terms of those accomplishments, and the inability so far of the People's National Party to essentially put a message challenging those accomplishments. What say you?
No, let me answer those questions. Now, first of all, as it relates to the crime, yes, this is the first time in 25 years that murders are likely to end up in a thousand. First time. But let me say something.
And that's an amazing achievement, Desmond.
Hold on a second. I am saying that is the first time in 25 years. No, but one of the things that has not filtered down yet, the fear of crime, in other words, the reduction in the homicide rate, it has not filtered down in safety in Jamaica yet. The people of Jamaica are not yet feeling that.
But I have to challenge you on that, Desmond, because Dr. Horace Chan came up and he quoted the statistics suggesting the perception of crime, not just the actual matter of crime itself, has fallen in Jamaica.
I am not quoting Dr. Chang, man.
No, but I'm saying he provided the statistic. Desmond Richards, are you suggesting the statistics are incorrect?
I am talking about people are still being killed, When politicians start, one of the things must do is take it down to the people and get the feelings from the people, what the people feel about it, No,
but that's the point that Siobhan raised earlier. That the National Security Minister, he came forward with the stats to say that the perception on the ground has changed now that we have seen that crime has been lowered.
I don't know about those statistics. This is election time in Jamaica. The other thing is that the achievements, remember now, these achievements, they are something that is measurable. So one of the things that we will find out is what impact these achievements have on the lives of the Jamaican people. Because one of the things, hold on, this country has seen economic growth before, Economic growth is not something that Jamaica has never achieved. Jamaica has achieved economic growth. But the vast majority of black people in Jamaica have not experienced any economic growth since 1944.
And Desmond, that is an argument, yes, that is as old as 50, 60 years because of the structural challenges of the Jamaican political economy. There's no doubt about that. And those structural obstacles to equality in terms of the benefits that people enjoy are going to be with us for some time to come. Yeah? Notwithstanding that, Desmond, it is not a cop-out to say, pound for pound, achievement for achievement, this government between 2016 and 2025, the history will record that on the big issues that we used to judge all previous governments, they are ahead. Yes, they are ahead. Whether it has percolated to the level of the individual pocketbooks, purses, wallets, in 4 weeks we will get an answer.
That's what
the
I am
point
saying.
is,
I'm saying the people the people will answer and give us some measurement as to whether or not these figures and achievements have filtered down into their life.
Mm-hmm.
That is what
And I will say,
I have a follow-up for you on that one, Cliff, because we live in a time where there's misinformation, there's skepticism. How do you see the government now effectively selling its campaign strategy? Yeah, this achievement booklet that they've put together to those in the community in a way that they feel it to be authentic and believable.
first of all, Sanjay, it's not going to come down to a booklet. Mm-hmm. Don't confuse what happened this morning as a political tactic method, yeah, with getting through to the average voter in the country that this government has performed. That message is getting through. We see it in our polling data. When Blue Dot asked, yeah, Jamaican voters recently 10 issues. Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, but I remember them clearly because it stuck with me. Education, housing, public health, water, roads, yeah? And it was all in all 10. Which of the two major political parties do you have more confidence in dealing with those 10 issues? The JLP came out ahead of the PNP on 9 of the 10. The PNP came out ahead of the JLP on 1. I think it was housing. And the margin that separated the PNP from the JLP was like within the margin of error. That tells me that the message is getting through, that the people are understanding, yeah, and you know, the PNP has nobody to blame but itself, you know, because the PNP has been damn lazy in sitting down in opposition and articulating, researching, and come up with a policy alternative that could inspire confidence in the Jamaican people. If they had done that, this election wouldn't have the JLP in a competitive position today. The PNP should be way ahead. Desmond can tell you, when was the last time an incumbent government, 10 years in office, 10 years in office, and the opposition is not miles ahead? When was the last time, Desmond?
I can't recall.
Precisely.
So
There's none.
So let me put it to you, Desmond Richards. What as the People's National Party now, what do they do to counter the messaging coming from the Jamaica Labour Party?
I am not an advisor for the PNP. I can't tell you what they are going to do.
No, I'm asking, what do you, as where you sit, what would you suggest they do?
Well, let me tell you something. We are today is the 30th of July. So based on what we know, elections are due within weeks, right? Now, it is what you have not done, a political party seeking power. What you have not done to convince the voters, it is going to be very difficult for you to come up with any strategy now that is going to turn around the thinking of the people. So, if as you feel, you and your team feel, and based on what, in other words, you are convinced that the JLP has put forward a convincing program that will convince the voters on election day, that is your take. My take is that I don't think that the programs, the plans and the programs have impacted the lives of the ordinary Jamaicans to the point where they are going to be convinced. But
what about the statistics that Cliff just made mention of? Blue Dot did the survey within the communities. The stats are there. Are you discrediting what was put forward?
I listened to all the statistics. I said, let me repeat what I said. watching what will happen on election day. Election day is when I will tell you about statistics.
And I will say to that, Desmond, gentlemen, that the Labour Party would be stupid to believe that they have won this election. This election has not been won. Yeah? It is going to come down to one, which of the two political parties are better organized on election day to get out their voters? Two, which of the two political parties is better financed, especially in certain voting blocks, to fuel those who are into transactional politics to go out and vote? Three, it will come down to...
You mean buying and selling votes?
Exactly. Buying votes, yes. Okay. It is going to or bribing the voter. Three, it is going to come down to the extent to which the uncommitted stroke issue voters, the undecided, come out and vote. If they stay at home, the PNP has a damn good chance of winning the elections. If the undecided, uncommitted issue voters, I call them the sensible middle voter, yeah, who understands and recognizes what is really happening, yeah, in terms of performance. They are not aligned to any orange or green color, yeah, them just things for what they are. If those people decide that they're not going to come out and vote, yeah, don't be surprised. The TNT could win, because the TNT base is very energized.
Yes.
They need no motivation to come out and vote. In fact, if there's one thing that Dayton Campbell has done successfully as General Secretary, is to mobilize and energize that TNT base. Yes. The difficulty they face has the country's politics. Hold on, let me finish. Has the country's politics moved beyond the rare, the lying, the misleading information, and it is all about the base.
Yeah, I'll have a follow-up for Cliff before Desmond comes in, because that's a point that I've been making for a very long time. And now looking on, do you think the undecided voters, those who they feel disconnected from both political parties, based on what is happening now, do you feel, based on the pulse that you're feeling on the ground, are they motivated enough to come out and vote when the election is called?
I don't know the answer to that. I pick up, I surmise, yes, that they are beginning to take an interest. But will they actually come out on the day? I don't know, Sanjay. I don't know. It's a big unknown.
Let me give you an answer for that. One of the things there are two things that we are not paying attention to, If you observe the decline in voter participation.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
This is a protest, It's a protest by Jamaicans who the political system have failed them, That is how they are protesting, And the second issue that we need to look at, members of parliament, PNP and JLP members of parliament, they are not serving the people, They are serving their parties. So, for example, they are all over now, in your kitchens, in your bathroom, everywhere. If you're on that tree, they are there. And you don't see them, the voters, you don't see them until election time again, because they are not representing the interests of the people. And these are things that we need to look at and find out how we can change them if we expect bigger voter turnout.
In fact, Desmond, I'll say this to you on that. Watch for the backlash against incumbents, non-performing incumbent MPs. is one of the things I believe we need to watch on election night. A lot of incumbent MPs who have not been very good MPs, they have not been responsive to their constituency needs. Some of them are going to be in trouble on election night. And this cuts across both political parties.
And I think
because people, there's something else that is allied to this that is developing in the politics. There's a greater appreciation of the need for you to perform as a member of parliament. Stop taking people for granted. And that is going to be a legacy of Andrew Holness, win, lose, or draw in 4 or 5 weeks. He has infused into the politics the need to perform, whether at the national level or the constituency level.
Perform and account. And the Prime Minister is out on left field in accountability.
What do you mean by that?
He has not accounted. You don't know that.
He has not
No,
I didn't hear that, Desmond.
Right. I want to ask on the point.
The Prime Minister has not accounted. That is why he's in trouble with the Integrity Commission. Don't all of us know that?
Oh, come on, Desmond. Come on, Desmond.
And I would like to put it to you, Cliff, is that matter, I noticed that has become absent on the PNP's campaign hostings, this matter of the Prime Minister's Integrity Commission filings. It no longer seems to
become absent, Siobhan. I think they're no longer consistently hammering him over with it.
Precisely.
Because it has fizzled. It has fizzled. We're having employed millions of dollars, find an international forensic accountant. They couldn't convict him. Come on.
Has he accounted to the Integrity Commission?
He has submitted his declarations. Is it for the commission to say yea or nay?
Why the Integrity Commission has not given a report as it ought to do to say yes, we have the Prime Minister? Why you do that?
Because according to the commission, it has done its work. It has employed a forensic examiner to examine those accounts, and they can't come to a conclusion one way or the other. And they refuse to tell you, Desmond, they refuse to tell me, as a citizen of Jamaica, what did they find? What did the forensic auditor find? Why haven't we been told?
But gentlemen, I don't want to get off track. This is about the campaigns of the two political parties, and I think both of you have hit a nail on the head, this matter of voter apathy and how it will play come election day. And as you said, Cliff, it might favor the People's National Party if that apathy sticks. So as the Jamaica Labour Party heading into the final weeks of their campaigning, heading into a general election, is that matter of voter apathy surmountable, and how do you surmount it?
I don't know if it is surmountable, Siobhan. I think it's going to come down to which of the two parties run the better campaign, which of the two political parties is more effective at reaching those undecided, uncommitted, issue-oriented voters. Yes? And certainly up to this point, I think the JLP has been a better campaigner on that particular issue. For example, listen to the Prime Minister's tone and messaging. He is not speaking like a tribalist. You listen, compare him to Mark Golding and Dayton Campbell, how they are sounding. Yeah? Dayton Campbell and Mark Golding are shouting at us like two angry men. They need to stop it. They're not appealing to that slice of the electorate, which is driven, oriented, issue voters, undecided people who genuinely feel like, listen, this is not much of a choice, but I have to vote for the left.
One of the things you must remember about these undecided voters, At one time, some of them were JLP and PNP voted for JLP and PNP, Remember
exactly.
that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So whichever of the two parties is more effective at reaching them will win. We'll win. We'll get them to the polls. Yeah.
Well, when the elections start, we'll know.
We will know when the call or when the voting done at 5 o'clock.
Precisely. That is the ultimate test.
That will be the acid test.
But final words to you, Desmond Richards and Cliff Hughes?
I'm looking forward to the campaign based on who does the better job, who is less prone to making mistakes. Yeah? Because this election, it can be close. It could be close. At the same time, it could be a landslide. Why do I say that? Look at the outcome of the 2020 elections, where it was about, the last time I checked, it was about 14, 15 seats that were won by less than 1,000 votes. It doesn't take a lot of votes in several constituencies to flip. So it could be a landslide depending on how the undecideds break. Do they break for Labour or do they break for the PNP?
Desmond Richards?
Yes, man.
What I am listening for, I'm listening for which of the two parties are advocating policies that is going to impact the lives of the majority of black people in Jamaica. For example, our people work 500 years in this country for nothing. What about a policy that is going to make land available to black people? I want to hear the PNP and the JLP and that.
Understood. That's Desmond Richards. He's a journalist and founder of Rebel Radio. We also had with us Emmy Award-winning journalist and CEO of Nationwide News, Cliff Hughes. Thank you both for joining us, gentlemen. As you both said, time will tell. Only in a few short weeks, we will have the answer to those questions, I'm sure.
Too much PNP supporters streaming to the JLP at this time. No more than ever. Only in my command days, that amount of PNP supporters ever stream to the JLP.
I am not so sure. Let's see what happens in that constituency, Central and Southeastern. The closest we've ever seen that seat possibly tip into the JLP was the last general election. Yeah. But if you know your political history, that is the only seat in the country that has never switched allegiance to the from the PNP. So let's see if that will be possible in the next elections.
But you see, I want to tell you something, Redray. You see the type of politics before?
Mm-hmm.
The time of the way people play politics, you see the diehard. It is not more to me, in my opinion, because at one point I believe that I would die the PNP, you know. And people have been streaming so much to the JLP. I mean, I can't go on to the home of people. I know that they will be voting JLP. You find the people who they use them going to hard. Their supporters voting JLP, a lot of them, you know. They will be, you talk about 100, I mean, more than the PMP come out of there, talk about the bus business. I know the wake of the man, the good man, him come out about teachers will be extended 2 hours per day. You know what they're doing to the party? People is going to vote against them, dangerous to stop them from doing these things. People, the whole entire nation are the PMP supporters in favor of the bus business. Some of them not about they're going to vote because they can't afford to know that PMP will come come back to win the election to stop all these progress. The PMP stand no chance in the election. I'm with anybody. I bet you say they do him take one of the FD seats. I'm looking for 61 right now and counting.
I don't know if you're going to get that wish, Richie, but we'll see come election day, because I do find it highly improbable that there are no losses by the JLP. Even if the JLP wins the election, I cannot see that election ending without them at least capitulating a few seats.
I would love to see what they're going to take. They can take until the day come. Any day, anytime the day come and I see them take it, I say yes. But until they take one of the JLP seats, I would say they can't take it.
All right, Richie. Willow, good evening.
Good evening, Siobhan. Who's your co-host?
Sanjay Lewis.
Sanjay Lewis. Yeah, man.
Good evening, Willow.
Good evening. Why? Let me tell you the truth, Trevor. I see the Prime Minister today, I shake him on, and I talk to him.
So you get your book?
I get my book.
All right.
But what I'm saying, Trevor, me is a directed PMP back then. But what changed me now is the future of my children. You see, the run the PMP get with PJ Patterson, the 18 and a half years. If PMP do half of what this man do in 9 years, JLP would not know talking in this country right now, you know. JLP would not know talking in this country. And right now, I'm one of the undecided. But I know me not hear PMP come with no policy. Nothing at all to encourage me to say yes. I'll work with you.
So
because let me tell you the truth, Siobhan and Sanjay. It's not about me, no. It's not about me anymore. Because we reach an age where it's not about me. It's about my children. And about my grandchildren. It's the future. I can't look one way anymore. I have to look ahead and the future. And you always have a plan for Jamaica and a future for Jamaica. And you can work with what Andrew Holness work with. We vote with them. We vote for them.
You don't sound so undecided, though.
Yeah, you're not so undecided at all.
No, me just tell you, I was undecided. But when me look at what Andrew Holness, the plan that Andrew Holness have for Jamaica, right? Me have to look at the future for my children and my grandchildren. When we look at the debt going down, right? A less burden for my children and my grandchildren when the debt go down. When we look on the unemployment rate, it's a future for my children because they're not going to be out of work. You understand? When we look on crime, it will be safer for us in the future. Right? When we look on the rural area, which we plan to go live in and move out of the city, water and those things road, we look on the future. PMP get all the time, the 18 and a half years of PJ get all of this could be done. But what have they, what him achieve? And you always have something to campaign on. What my party guy come now and tell me that they're going to do different? You want to hear from my leader? Me want to hear. I mean, no want to hear say, him not talk until election. I want to hear no. Tell him to come now and make me know him plan with him up for Jamaica. Where him get the money from? How him going to fund all what him going to do? Me want to hear it, you know. Me want to hear it. So tell him, say, no, is it time for him convince me? Me not talk about dieted anymore. Me not talk about the love of my country, Jamaica. Me not talk about the future of Jamaica. Yeah. And Siobhan and Sanjay, there are some people in Canada. They might try to get to know and they might try to get to know harder and they can't get to know. Yeah. Because up to this evening, I talk to one person in Canada and they might say, boy, they might try to get to know and they can't get to know. Sanjay, It's not about dieted anymore. No matter how you ring up the base, it's the future. Because if you come run the investors and all of those people, that means you tell me say you carry back to square one. I mean, no want that. And the future, because without investor, your country is no country at all. Yeah? And you people know that. You people know that. I invest around country. The more people working in your country, and the more tax you pay, and it's better for your country. Yeah?
All right.
It's better for your country. Yeah? So tell my party, say, then come convince me. Come convince me. Oh, come convince me. Me no want to hear. No, this and that. You want to hear facts. Yeah.
All right, Willow. Thank you for the call.
All the best.
Morris, good evening.
Good evening, Siobhan.
Evening, sir.
And Mr.
Sanjay.
Hello. Yes. Blessings, sir. Yeah. To me, sir, to see the election, I will go, to see the JLP winning the election. And you know why? You hearing me, sir?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, we're listening.
They have a better messaging. And it is not a confused message. You can understand when the Prime Minister and his people are talking. And but the PNP is just like crass, angry, and so, when them depend on platform. And the next thing again, I hear a lot of PNP on the ground because I come from St. Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
And even PNP I say Andrew are going because Mark not ready. That's one of the words that they out on the street, Every time them talk, some of them are say for the Lisa and I give Andrew a bigger fight. But every PNP me I tell you, sir, because me and them talk and we chat politics also. Them say Mark not ready yet. And I see Andrew win big time at it. You hear me, sir? Because Andrew more popular now than 2020, I can't tell you that, sir, because I'm the panic ground, I'm there at Santa Cruz. And that behind him there at St. Elizabeth, and people are broke chilling and everybody around to him. And
so you are convinced then that the message being sent on the campaign trail so far from the JLP, it's connecting with those on the ground?
Yeah, the messaging that the people and the Prime Minister can give you a good message, Because that is what I'm hearing, and I'm feeling confident that JLP will win the next election.
All right, Morris.
Yeah,
All right, Morris. We'll see how it comes on election day. And at the end of the day, it's the Jamaican people who will decide that. Mm-hmm. As much as we can talk here now and then, it's at the day, we will see when things happen. Who's next? Ruby, good evening.
Yeah. Hi, good night, Sanjay.
Hi.
I'm Siobhan.
Good evening.
It's my first time calling this program.
Welcome.
But I listen religiously. My radio does not come off the station. And I can tell you, I was one of the undecided voters.
Oh.
But I saw my Prime Minister did something today that I have to sit up, and I'm 63 years old. I'm not a baby. I voted twice in my life, once for the PNP and once for the JLP. And the voting business gets so confusing, and the regulatory, them call them one of the all sort of name that I decided, no, Sam, I don't have no time for that. But this morning, I was in Alpha Tree, and I saw my Prime Minister, and he was looking just like my son, who is 38. He was walking among his people, talking to his people, and I can tell you, I decided not to vote again. But whenever this gentleman calls this election, I am going to give him my vote.
All right, Ruby.
Yes.
You said the Prime Minister reminded you of your son.
Yes.
I like that messaging because again, what the Prime Minister did today was quite the outstanding political move to put himself out there on that trail, handing out a booklet of achievements. That was quite a thing to see.
This was a knockout punch. You know when Ali used to fight? This was a knockout punch, and people tend to forget when you remember the 15 million, the 1.5?
Yes, I remember that.
He did something exactly like this, you know. He was out there in the street walking, and people were saying all types of things. I think this man is gonna win this election, and people who are undecided, maybe you guys are not getting to them for them to tell you, like myself, that they are going to vote for him.
All right, Ruby, well said. Just to hear that you are voting this election and you decided to do that, I'm happy to hear it.
Yes, I am going to vote, and my MP is Big Al.
Big Rob, you mean? No,
Big Rob.
Big Rob, yes. And he's a good MP. I know that. So he's gonna get my vote.
All right, Ruby, thank you for the call. Mr. Hill, good evening.
Yeah, man, good evening, sir, man.
How are you doing?
Yeah, man, it's a blessing, man. It's a blessing, you know. Yeah, man, big up to the nationwide crew. You always are listening, you know. You always are listening. I tell you, you always are listening, you know. And hear other people's opinion and them views and towards the political, you know, thing, you know. So, you know, try me look and call and can't believe they get through.
Well, what's your take on the politics now that you're seeing?
Well, there are two things. Yeah, sometimes we take a little thing on the YouTube, and I hear two things. Let me tell you, never vote. And the reason why I never vote is mortgage. Based on two things. One year. I heard Vietnam Chamber was telling me about the student that was trapped in Ukraine. Mortgage, he have to take out his money, his own personal account. So money out of his own personal account and send for the student to come home. And I think that was a good thing. We love them things there, you know. We love the people, help people. And there is another thing. When Mario Dean was in jail,
yes,
he was killed, and he was a legislator, Margot, and
he was the justice minister at the time.
Yeah, man, yeah, man. We love them things there, you know.
But isn't that? But hold on, no, but isn't that something that we have seen other politicians done in the past that of helping those who are in need and legislators trying to push through necessary pieces of legislation to advance the country? What stood out for you, or what was so outstanding of those two things that Mark Golding did as a member of the PNP?
Well, that was one of the things, you know, with Mario Dean. Yeah, you understand? We love that, you know, and I think that the thing is, it's me that I'm not smoke weed, you know, I'm not smoke weed, but we have friends and families that smoke them weed, and we have uncle that get beat up by police. They smoke and weed and things. You hear them things happen, you know, you can say, yes. Remember the time when my uncle is getting a bus up and got to the weed and get locked up in a jail, sir.
I'm getting a wrap-up signal now, caller, but I mean, if that is the issue you want to vote on and that is where you believe your vote lies, nobody can tell you otherwise, you know. As long as you go out on the day and vote, that is fine by me.
Yes. Another thing again. One thing about the Cliff Hughes. One, there was a video going around with a man in a green shirt with a gun in him and a run down a man in a center, man. How many years did a man get charged and get locked up? I don't know why. If it was a man like me, you know, simple man like me, they say, let's take you all my little firearm and jail for me. I'm still in a jail right now. You know, that's about the Cliff Hughes. You know, more if you can't back it, like, not like Brian, not like Chris Gale. Russell. More people can bounce like a Russell, you know?
All right, Colin. As I said, I have to wrap up now. Thank you for calling. Thanks to our YouTubers for sticking with us. I know we had some technical challenges, but you're all here strong anyway. Marigold, Kingsley, Robert, Chatbout, Bertie, Desdem, Damnet, Mikkel, all of you.